I'm going to make some basic cookies today, and I'm going to make them a couple different ways. I've got, it's a low-carb cookie, I've got almond flour, I've got beautiful Kerrygold butter, and I want to show you something. I picked up a butter that I'm not going to say the name of because it's not like it's a bad butter, but it's not like it's Kerrygold. And Kerrygold you can find in just about any supermarket, but if you've ever been to Ireland and seen how happy those cows are, it explains why this beautiful butter is so yellow versus the other butter, which is kind of pale and anemic looking. But this other butter was in the refrigerator. The Kerrygold was in the freezer. So I quickly began grating my butter. If you've never grated butter, it's a little bit of a pain in the neck. That's one stick. It makes a lot. So I've doubled the recipe because I'm making different flavors. I've got 4 cups of almond flour in here, and I'm adding my grated stick of butter. I'm going to grate the other stick of butter, but first I'm going to tell you the ingredients and then I'll come back. I'm also adding 2 eggs, which are not in front of me, so they'll be added when I grate the other stick of butter. I'm adding, for what I'm making, if I was making just one recipe, which would make 24 cookies, I'd be making 2 cups of almond flour, 1/4 cup of monk fruit, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of, and I'm looking over at my recipe. This is my notes as I write things. When I'm developing recipes, I'm always tweaking. But that's my basic recipe. I'm doubling the recipe because I'm going to make snickerdoodles, I'm going to make a lavender cookie, I'll make a coconut cookie, and I'll make a lemon cookie. And I'll do that just by using different extracts. So I have a coconut extract, a lemon extract. I've got this beautiful lavender extract from a lavender farm in Port Murray, New Jersey, Orchid View. What a wonderful place. And they make their own extract. So I'll be sprinkling my own lavender flowers on top of it just to make it pretty. But this one will also, all of them are going to have the vanilla in them as a base. The snickerdoodle won't get anything else added to it, but the other 3 cookies will have additional extracts added. So I'm going to finish grating, I'm going to grab the eggs, and I'll be back. I beat this really well so that it's nice and soft, and I'm going to be able to incorporate the other extracts. So I put everything in the middle, scraped down the sides, and broke it into quarters. And I've got the bowls here. And each of these is going to make 12 cookies. That one's a little bit smaller. Okay. This one will stay plain. This is going to be the snickerdoodle. I'm going to refrigerate all of them when I'm done so that I can actually handle these and roll them into little balls. Right now I can't. So let me grab a fork. I stuck my measuring spoons in the sink and I still need them. So I need 1/2 a teaspoon of each of these extracts. Let's see. One's a 1/2. Throw that off. So 1/2 a teaspoon of coconut is going into this one. And just rinse that off. half a teaspoon of lemon is going into this one. I actually have a homemade lemon extract in the cabinet that I forgot about. Now the lavender, not going to use half a teaspoon of this because this is really strong. This is going to be a 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm only going to fill up my halfway. Way overdid that. Okay, here. Came out really fast, so that's half. That's all you need. That's a 1/4 teaspoon of the lavender. It smells so good you don't mind spilling it on your hands. Now the other thing I'm going to add to the lavender is a very underused spice that I love, cardamom. And this is also, of course, tossed them back in the sink again. This is also going to be a 1/4 teaspoon because it's got a lot of flavor. Actually, it's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. It smells so good, really exotic. So I will be back after these have refrigerated and we'll see where we go from here. Now things are moving along. So I've taken each of the cookies and unfortunately my estimates were a little bit off. The lemon has only 11, but the Snickerdoodles have 13, so it's not the end of the world. But what is important is making sure the size of the cookies are all pretty close in size, because when you have little cookies and big cookies on the same baking sheet, you're going to have some cookies burning and some cookies being undercooked. What I've done is I have taken 2 baking sheets and covered them with parchment paper because that way they're guaranteed not to stick. I don't expect them to stick, but I like to keep things neat. So my lemon cookies are ready to go first, and I was really pleasantly surprised to see that I had some lemon peel that I had shredded and grated and put in my freezer. I do that sometimes when I've got nice organic lemons so that when I'm doing something like this, I've got a little bit of lemon peel. So this cookie is going to get a little bit of the monk fruit, swerve, and I'm going to put that on the plate along with the lemon peel. I'm going to mix them together a little bit more. You can almost see what I'm doing. I tried to push the phone back a little further because I know usually you can't see what I'm doing so well, and I just have to keep walking around. My little clicker stopped working. So you take each cookie, and what I did is after I froze them, I rolled them out, and then I stuck them in the refrigerator so that they're really easy to handle. And look at that, perfect little cookie. So I will do 11 of those. For the lavender, I luckily have some lavender outside right now, and I took them and I snipped them off the flower because I thought it was going to be easy like rosemary or mint, and I was going to just go down. No, that didn't happen. So I snipped them all off, and this too will get a little bit of sugar added to the flowers, and I want to use my other hand because I don't want to get a lemon taste in my lavender cookies. Oh, look how pretty! This is a real treat for me. I don't always remember to cook when my lavender flowers are in bloom. I usually just pick them and dry them and either use them just because they smell good in like an eye pillow or even as a tea. I love a nice fresh lavender tea. But look how pretty that is. And it's perfectly edible because obviously if you can have lavender tea, you can have lavender cookies. So that's next. Next will be the coconut. That's over here. I didn't pull out enough plates, so what I'm going to do with the coconut, I'm not going to use any sugar with the coconut. I'm going to just use the coconut by itself. If I thought to have a plate out, I'd have a plate and I would be rolling this on a plate instead of on my hand. And the nice thing about topping your cookies this way is you can identify them better, just from sight. And I'll know that is a coconut cookie. I'm going to just go ahead and roll another one so I don't waste that. And my final cookie is my delicious snickerdoodle. Love me some snickerdoodles. So you could do that either with sugar or with sugar and cinnamon, monk fruit and cinnamon. I'm just going to use some cinnamon on mine. And I'm just going to sprinkle that. And I got a snickerdoodle. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these cookies. I've set the oven for 350 degrees, and we'll be back in about, well, more than 10 minutes, but I'm going to cook them for about 10 minutes, and I'll be back. All right, so I did not have time to finish this at home, and here are the cookies that I brought to my mom's house, and they are lovely. We have some lavender, coconut, snickerdoodle, and lemon cookies with the beautiful lemon rind on them. So those are the cookies, and that's how easy it is. The recipes will be on the website. Try it out and enjoy.